everybody, come on in. I'm Dave. This is my friend
Sarah.
And this is my wife
Tina.
And we're Bible First 5-minute Bible study. Today we are in, does anybody remember?
I think I remember Acts 6, verse
8. You were pretty close. And we don't need to raise our hands. We're not in school. Okay, so why don't you start at Acts 6, verse 8.
Okay.
And go down to stop at verse 12.
Okay, and Stephen, full of faith and power, did great wonders and signs among the people. Then there arose some from what is called the synagogue of the freedmen, Sanhedrins, Alexandrians, and those from Cilicia and Asia, disputing with Stephen. And they were not able to resist the wisdom and the spirit by which he spoke. Then they secretly induced men to say, when they have heard him speak blasphemous words against Moses and God.
Right. So we see there in 11, so there was a man, one of those, the reason this is coming after is Stephen was one of those men that were supposed to be taking care of the wives and elders. Well, he tended, and that day, he was like, one, they said he had the face of an angel, so he was an attractive man, but they also said he had the power and the Holy Spirit that basically almost and might have been as strong as the apostles. So the Jews were kind of going against them, and what it's saying right there, they secretly persuaded some men to say, we have heard Stephen speak blasphemous words against Moses and against God. So they made lies, because in Jewish law, you had to have the witnesses of two people to convict you. So basically, they got these people to go and say they're blaspheming, because that's a threat you can stone somebody for, or put them, like Jesus. That was one of the crimes they claimed Jesus did, was by saying that he was the Son of God, that he was putting himself on an equal footing with God. Okay, verse 12. So they stirred up the people and the elders and the teachers of the law. They seized Stephen and brought him before the Sanhedrin. They produced false witnesses who testified, this fellow never stopped speaking against this holy place, which is the temple, and against the law. In verse 14, for we have heard him say that this Jesus of Nazareth will destroy this place and change the customs handed down to us. All who were sitting in the Sanhedrin looked intently at Stephen, and they saw that his face was like the face of an angel. Sarah, have you ever had a time in your life where somebody was saying that you said or did things that you did not say or do?
Yes.
Can you think of a time, Tina?
I don't know if I can think of right off the bat.
Okay. Can you think of a time, did any of y'all ever get in, you both had siblings. Did you ever have a time where maybe your sibling did something and you got blamed for it and took a punishment? I can think of a time, no. I won't say who it was, my sister, but our washing machine broke.
Oh, no.
And the repairman fixing it found this weird-looking roach clip. Now, I was 12 or 13. So I didn't know what marijuana was. I didn't know what a roach clip was. And I still know what it looked like because I got in a lot of trouble over it. It was like a stem, and it had this wire that said something, and it held like the end of the joint over here. And he's like, I don't know what to tell you, but I found this in your washing machine. So my mom goes, my sister, I don't know if David knows what to do with it, but it's not mine. So then I ended up getting blank, and I'm like, I didn't even know what it was for. Like, I didn't start, drinking and getting high till I was 16 years of age. I was still a little kid playing with, toy robots and G.I. Joes and Big Jims and stuff like that. But I don't remember what the punishment was, but I remember being like, I didn't do this.
Right.
But I can say there's been times where when this is happening to you, you feel almost like oppressed. Mm-hmm. It's like there's a heaviness in the room, right? Can you think of a time when maybe you came home from school, right? And maybe the teacher had said, and you just walked, and you knew something wasn't right. Somebody's in trouble. Normally, if you got a lot of kids in your family, it's nearly every day somebody's in trouble, but you pick up on it, very quickly, very easily. Well, that was what was going on here, right? I'll say, when you get in trouble for something you did not do, it's worse than when you get in trouble for something you did do.
Mm-hmm. Right, because you deserve it if you did do something.
Right. Well, one of the things they teach you, like in NA and AA and stuff like that, when you're talking about, well, I got in trouble with the law, and now I got to go to these meetings, and I got in trouble. And they're like, well, did you ever do anything that you didn't get in trouble for? Well, there you go. Right. Which I don't go with that. I think, we expect in American society for there to be actual justice, and that if we're in the right, we'll prevail, but that's not normally how it is. And that's not how it was here, right? If you got money, you'll prevail. And in this time, if you were well connected, right? If you were a Roman citizen, they wouldn't have been messing with them. If Stephen was rich, they wouldn't have been messing with them. But the reason they were messing with him was because he was having an impact. Mm-hmm. So that's one of those things to think about is, what's the reason that I'm in trouble? Right. Is it because, in our world, the world of being a Christian, sometimes we get in trouble for nothing because the devil's trying to slow us down or stop us.
Right. They're always trying to catch Christians doing something
right. Well, what do I always say, right? I always say God is either God or he's not. So when you are in these situations, you got to ask yourself, okay, is God who he says he is? Well, if I'm innocent, God's going to prevail. Don't mean I won't get punished. It means there's a purpose for this. Mm-hmm. If I'm not innocent, then you know what? I need to just take my licks and deal with it. Because again, God can show you mercy, and I think God is more likely to show you mercy when you admit to what you've done wrong. Mm-hmm. Don't sit there, and try to placate it. Don't try to cover it with icing. It's still a poop sandwich. No matter how much icing, chocolate icing you put on it, it's still going to taste like poop.
Mm-hmm. And he always has a purpose and a plan.
Always. Always has a purpose and a plan. Does anybody else want to say something too?
No, I was just going to say, like if you commit premarital sex, sometimes...
Ooh la la.
No, you still might...
Children, go out of the room.
You'll have, you'll get pregnant, right? Well, you still have the consequences of your sin, even though God forgives you, no matter what,
Yeah, no, you're 100%.
But you still have the consequences of your sin.
No, well, look at me, right? I'm diabetic. Well, that's a consequence of eating too much, people.
Right.
Right?
Eating too much.
Not getting enough exercise.
Eating the wrong food.
Not leaving work at the end of 8 hours, but staying there for 14. Living off of cupcakes so that way I could get my work done. So
Right.
I tell people, I earned this diabetes. I earned this sickness. But I'm not going to let it slow me down.
Right.
I'm not going to let it stop me. But I'm still living under the consequences of that sin. You know, and I've dealt with it because through fasting and prayer, I've been able to overcome that power that food used to have over me. You know, it used to call to me. I couldn't keep ice cream sandwiches or ice cream in the freezer. It would call to me until I ate it all. I had to eat it. Could not go to sleep till now. I mean, we just pulled the fudgicle that had been in there for 6 months.
Right.
You know, so like I say, God can give us victory, but He does it when we don't play games. When we don't pretend, oh, I'm fat because I got a glandular problem. And you might be fat for that reason, but I'm not. I'm fat because I ate too much and did too little.
Right.
So both of those, you know, I didn't take care of the temple God gave me, but He's still going to make this temple, something that will bring Him glory.
Right.
Sarah, you have anybody to say hi to?
I want to say hi to all my kids. Sammy. Hi, Sammy. Congratulations on your promotion. Elijah. Hi. Congratulations on your driving. Josh. Sorry about your ankle. He twisted his ankle. Elijah, or Josh, Luke, Lazarus, and Izzy. And baby Ezekiel. Baby Dax and Ezekiel. So, hi to all my kids.
Okay.
That took a while.
She's been busy. Everybody, we just want you to have a great. Well, these two don't want you to have a great weekend.
Yes, we
I
do.
personally want you to have. Don't listen to them. I want you to have a great weekend. They're cursing you. I'm blessing you. We'll see you Monday. God bless and bye-bye.
Okay.